Salutations. Let me get you guys set up right. I feel like I should put on a hoodie. I might put on a hoodie. Give me a second. Thank you guys for joining me as in future tense because I don't think nobody's hopping on as per usual. Oh, yeah, like I mentioned, I'm not bothered at this point by things of the nature. I'm just mentioning it to gel off you guys because at this point, what better to do? So glad you guys are able to join me for this ringing in of what they consider to be the new year. During this live, I will be, other than playing the game, also expounding on reasons to believe and like extra variables when it comes to like why not to celebrate, etc. Or why not to recognize, etc., etc. Um, that being said, I'll involve like reading of scripture where it mentions in scripture the time when to celebrate the new year. The common sense reason being, as in like the whole spring versus winter thing, and like if you're gonna give a timestamp to when something was created, it would make sense that it will be in the time where things are being created or like springing up, if that makes sense. So as you guys can hear, I'm about to get a bit of drifting in. Um, as you might have seen in earlier on's live, I did get copyrighted for a few songs, and I edited it to like supposedly delete the songs. Well, I did play it back, but when I played it back, I had it on fast forward, and I wasn't like fully watching it. I was going in and out of my room, so yeah. And speaking of, let me share this live with others. Press online, idiot. I want to change the thumbnail, but I can't. Oh, I could have. Oh, let me see. Let me see what I could do. Hmm. I don't think I could change the thumbnail. It might be too late. Let me see. Let me check in here. And mind you, with this whole like laptop thing, yeah. When it comes to this current like laptop thing, I'm trying to get used to all the buttons and different options to choose because there's a lot of little things like you got this page access to your camera. Like you know how laptop screens are or like browser screens are. So yeah. I'm not sure if we're getting any if we're playing any music during this live stream. Or are we just gonna keep it like, peace and quiet other than you hearing the tires drift? And you know what? That's what I might do. Um, we're gonna begin this live stream. Well, it already begun. But during this live stream, I'm gonna first start out with because I mentioned last live stream about core doctrines and things of that nature. So, with that being said, we're gonna read or go through a core doctrine and allow the Spirit to expound a bit. I ain't got no drift on that thing though, boy. I bet you that for sure. Right now, if you're wondering, I'm drifting in the Euros, which is meant to be the GTA version of the 370Z. Uh, it's a snappy thing. It's a snappy thing. Like that thing swings side to side for real. Like it ain't a heavy swinger. It's a quick swinger. Like you could just stop on a dime and switch directions. Like it is what it is. Which that's what 370Zs are. As in like they're compact, small, but powerful. Powerful. Ooh. Like I said, this is not exciting for you guys as for me drifting. I mean, like I said, it would be better. It would be better if I had it that. Oh my goodness! Come on, I thought he was in the Hellcat. He ain't one of those flying cars. So, like I was saying, it's not as exciting for you guys as it is for me. Like I said, going forward, in the case that I have it that is willed by the Father, or in the case that the Father wills it, um, I will be attempting to try to use the GoPro. I don't know how it works. The GoPro, I guess I have it set to face the screen, and if I can use the GoPro while using the webcam, that's how it works. Like I'll add the webcam to the side on the main screen. Well, you know how it goes when people do video game streaming. So, yeah, pray on behalf of it. And I'm not going to stress it. I'm going to let the variables piece by piece add up. And we'll see where that goes. I'm doing it in a taxi. I'm just following it, drifting. But now he's driving on fast, which is gay. And I guess you guys would like to understand what I mean when I say the term, like, because I don't use the word as, I'm like, that's kind of something I wouldn't say I preach against, but I speak about as in using things that it wasn't intended for, and like the whole modernization of, things of that nature. So I say that to say, ooh, when I say the term, like, wait, that's another conversation. Yeah, I was gonna say if you're interested on knowing, let me know. And but besides that, it's another a way of me saying like weird, like. But I'm not saying, well, that's if gay people consider themselves to be gay. I consider themselves to be people, and they just happen to have like likenesses that I don't have, but I wouldn't put a title or consider them to be anything other than human at the end of the day. Oh my goodness, you just crashed right into me. Yeah, with that being said, that goes to why I say something is gay. when I don't use it like as a derogatory word against people that consider themselves to be that. Because I don't, cause, yeah, that ends that. That ends that. But I forget what I was speaking about before I mentioned how something was gay, and I totally forget. I know I was speaking about the whole core doctrine thing. Oh, going forward, the webcam, trying to hook up the GoPro to film the TV screen and make sure it's like perfectly cropped in to where it's looking like it's screen recording more than like I'm recording in my room. So yeah, praise on behalf of that. Then we just started the vehicle damage. 10 seconds in, and dude already made 1,000,002. He didn't make it. He just caused that much damage to the community. I'm not gonna lie. Next like 5 minutes. I mean, unless I play a race or something, you're not getting too much. Not feedback, but energy, I guess, or excitement. Yeah, you're not getting too much excited feedback. 'Cause I'm just chilling, drifting. Only if you can see it. Only if you can see it. And I switched vehicles. Somebody blew up my other one. I'm currently in Drift Tampa. In Drift Tampa. So wait, let me add this on Instagram notes. And mind you, I gotta find. I mean, I'm not sure how the streaming will continue going forward. I mean, if anything, see, that's why I'm glad that the powers that be, my Heavenly Father, Heavenly Mother, Heavenly Brother, Adon and Savior Yeshua. That's why I'm glad they were able to work it in my favor to have me in a position where I'm on this type of schedule. Because, like I said, I mean, the only drag, I mean, well, at first I was very complaint, mean, like, I wanted to fight it kind of thing. But then I understood without speaking to them because, that's what happens when you not battle conversations in your head yourself, but like that's what happens when like the thinking and things of that nature. So that being said, um, it came to mind that 9 times out of 10, the reason why they lowered my rate is previously, if I was unemployed, it was due to like me being actually unemployed. Currently, I'm not unemployed. I just on break because of the school. So long story short, they lowered my rate from. They basically split my rate, and I wasn't very happy about it. I wasn't too upset, but I wanted to basically not fight it, but see what was the reason being, understand it. And that being said, without speaking to him, I believe I was able to understand it, or I believe the Spirit allowed me to understand it. And with that being said, though, I said that to say over this break, I realized how many different, like, it gave me time to sit back and meditate in the Spirit, meditate in truth, meditate in love, meditate in things of the nature. Because this has been an interesting break, long story short. for a lot of different reasons. In short, I'm very thankful for it. And with that being said, the Spirit gave another idea where I could live stream my walks to work. So instead of using the GoPro and doing it like that, I mean, it wouldn't be professional. Like, I got to keep, and that was a conversation before in a previous video. Like, even though I'm saying I got to keep it cordial because I can't edit anything or cut anything, I'm trying to do that passively without saying it, because if you say it, it sounds a little iffy. But I just wanted to say it. Like, at the end of the day, I do got to remember when something is live, watch your words and allow the Spirit to speak. Like, sometimes, at the end of the day, I am just human. I am just a creation amongst creation. So at times I may slip up, and me doing like recorded footage, download, and then the editing it makes it, you know, typically my editing don't consist of me like cropping things that I shouldn't have said. Typically, it's just spots where I'm not saying anything. You get what I'm saying? So I'm saying these things, but I haven't had any cases, thank our Heavenly Father, where I said something that was like shouldn't have been said, or something I don't believe that's true, or something that I believe currently in an emotional state. And yeah, I said that to say going forward, I mean, other than the fact that my hands gonna be freezing, unless I put the phone on the GoPro or something. I mean, either or. I mean, not the phone on the GoPro, on like a selfie stick. Either or, my hands gonna be outside in my pockets. So we'll see how that works. We'll see how that works. But I'm basically gonna find other ways to continue live streaming because I actually enjoy this. I think it's more interactive, and you guys get a better sense of just me in general. So yeah, I think I said about a few moments ago I was gonna stop drifting in the next, I believe, 5 to 10 minutes. So unless I join a race, which unless it's double money, triple, I don't usually do races. I don't usually do any of the things at all because ultimately it's fun and all, but I usually do it at times where I need income in GTA. So other than the drifting, from time to time when I need like funds to afford a new drift car, I would join like series that are going on, triple money, stuff like that. I might search what other current series going on. What was that? Who just flew past me or something? I just heard a ding and somebody on the map go past. But they far away, so he flew past me. Come on. Come on. Parker mission, cell mission, community series this week. Overtime. Are they still doing the overtime rumble? I guess I do the overtime rumble. I don't mind it. Like the problem. I lost in feeling. That but going back to you. As one of the songs that wasn't copyrighted. In my general opinion and consensus on the topic would be like, as gospel artists, I mean, unless it's a management thing, as in something that you don't, yeah, regular. How's everything? We got like 4 more days. But, I low key forgot what I was just speaking about. And this is not what I was trying to join, bro. But, yeah, I low key did forget. I low key did forget. It's gonna come back tomorrow. It's gonna come back tomorrow. I know I was mentioning that. I know I was mentioning that. It's a lot of things I was mentioning. But yeah, I'm glad I got a viewer. Finally, man. Finally. Thank you. And you're staying in. And you're staying in. Just so you know, you're the first. You're the first. And I will remember this. I will remember this. And then, yeah, if I'm not mistaken, I still owe you uh, a 10. And I actually got it. Yeah, I'm actually in the situation where I got it now. So if this is you, because I don't know about to text me if anything, because you just hopped out. But yeah, if anything, hit me up on IG. I'll send you that 10 via Cash App. And yeah, yeah, I appreciate brother man. I'm gonna give his I can't. I'm trying to like it. Where's the like? I want to like it. You won't let me like it. Yeah, I appreciate that, man. And he gave a comment. I appreciate that. I would like to remember what I was speaking about, but besides that, I'm glad what my mind, like what took my mind off what I was speaking about was something fruitful and something I'm very appreciative of. And for real, I haven't been over here in years, bro. Well, I have, but I haven't been like in the woods. You know where the mission where Franklin saves Lamar from the lumberjack folks. Well, it's not the lumberjack folks, but they're at a lumberjack yard, and I'm drifting. Well, I would consider this more like rally racing. I'm rally racing it. Oh, you're speaking of rally racing and stuff like that. When it comes to me speaking on the car bill, uh, I'm not entirely sure how. Like originally, I was building it to be a drift car, but with it being all-wheel drive and you having to do like certain things that are questionable and aren't guaranteed that you're not gonna blow a transmission or axle, get what I'm saying? So that being said, since I wasn't gonna be able to make it a drift build, I was gonna go more for like not really the drag racing scene, but like power wise and performance, that's how it would be. The only issue would be is like how I'm doing it at aesthetically. It's not going to be the best aerodynamics. Like in the case that like I do the build and that makes a difference, then yeah, it's not going to help with the aerodynamics. But since I'm basically deleting the front bumper, the side fenders, the rear bumper, the side skirts, those are all things that add aerodynamics. And I mean, in my opinion, I assume if all the air just freely goes through everything, then that should make sense. But according to aerodynamics, it don't. So we'll see how that works for the most part. Something I did want to make mention of. So far, I've been in like 3, 4 occasions where awkward, like say for example, it would be right in the case that I celebrate it or recognize this to be the new year to mention to like 2 or 3 individuals like Happy New Year's and stuff like that. Like I hope they, because a good amount of them understand like where I be coming from or like what type of timing I be on. So with that being said, I hope they like have a heart that's can see through it and not say like, oh, how come he didn't do this? You know, allow the right words to be implanted into the cranium and not the wrong ideas. Because ultimately, like I said, to each his own. But it would be strange for the individuals that are celebrating these things to feel a type of way against people that aren't celebrating these things, and at the same time aren't against those that are celebrating it. So ultimately, I'm not against you for celebrating it. I'm against it in general, like the falseness and lie. Like that's my whole gist of it. If you choose to follow that lie and myth and things of nature, I would like to understand why, but to each their own. But I would like to understand why, because that'd be the gist of et cetera, is understanding. As long as, because if I'm not an understanding of something, things mentally get, and I don't look at it as bad. I don't look at it as good. It just happens, and yeah. But with that being said, from time to time, I mean, from time to time, if answers aren't answered by an individual, I start to go through a phase where I start to question things, and sometimes those questions get answers. But at the end of the day, depending on the answer, if it's like something bad, I or the spirit ultimately make sure is that my heart doesn't harden towards it and remind me at the end of the day I didn't hear it from them, so I can't like go off of it. Like yeah, it might be true. Yeah, the bad variables are adding up, but until I hear it from that individual, and that's why it'd be stressing me so much because like you really, like I really be trying, like I really want to work with people, and when I do, and they just do the, you know, that's where it gets you. That's where it gets you. And I believe people are like, even though we are under things of the nature, I believe we freely decide for ourselves and all that. Yeah, I think our actions should be judged as if like, no, nobody's, yeah. I gotta get out these dirt roads. I'm looking getting bored playing this GTA. You might go to UFC. I mean, technically, I got PlayStation Plus right now, so I could play Battlefield, but I'll tell you, that's gonna sound like a jet. Boy, you gonna think we in the military. You gonna think we in a chopper. In the chopper. The way that baby sounds. off the bridge. Fall off the cliff. That's where I'm currently at. So I'm given the locations by GTA missions. The mission where I believe you're with Trevor and Michael, where I think it's one of the heists that they do with Merryweather or something like that, where you gotta fight them off at the river, and you gotta like ride the whole river through. There's like a whole like scene to that. Yeah, I'm over there. I really like the nature and GTA. It's a nice like feature. It'll be interesting, and that's probably what GTA 6 you're like waiting for. Um, I feel like they're gonna do a thing where, but I mean, it's not no reason why they should be waiting for that. That technology has been out since 2K. Well, not since 2K, but 2K been doing that, and like sports games been doing that for years. For like basically having that you could scan, have yourself as a character in the game. I have a feeling, even if that's not what they're waiting for, I have a feeling that that might be something that's added. I believe that's something that should be added, and you know, because there's wrongs to that and rights to that, or like there's rights as in I don't see how it's harmless, but then I do see how it could be harmful. I mean, I see how I don't see how it's harmful, but then I could also see how it could be harmful and lead people into idolatry of self and things of that nature. But in the case that the individual has a good heart and things on the outside doesn't defile him on the inside, then to each his own. But in the case that an individual will see their face and see all these different things on the video game, like you know what I'm saying, that could actually like it could be good in that and bad. Like a person could see themselves on the game killing others and then decide to do it. Like there's difference. You know what I'm saying? Or they could see themselves, I guess, prospering on GTA 6 with their character. So like it drives them. Like it could be motivation in a good way and in a bad way. So and that's why I think ultimately people that do or like create certain things, I don't fully hold a judgment that they should be held culpable for like how things make people. You know what I'm saying? But to a degree, to a degree, because at the end of the day, it is the outside variables that makes them choose to do certain things like that in video games like this. Because say for example, with me, I'm drifting. I'm not like if I'm being honest, at times where I'm a bit emotional, and that's my point. Is like there's a difference with the individual and what he's currently going through and things of that nature. Because at times of emotion, I'll be going out here, you know. But currently, as you can see, I'm just chilling, drifting. So it's all on. Like you could do anything in this game. It's whatever the variables lead to. So with that being said, I don't think rock stars should be held like under judgment for like video games like this. Because yeah, might make me a bowl of cereal. I was feeling like making me a bowl of cereal. What's that noise? It's like something still moving on the bed. Ain't nothing on the bed. Yeah. We will be back shortly. We're finna make a bowl of cereal. Me just thinking about it, I should have left a note, like a comment, and saying I will be back making cereal, just in case if I actually get a viewer. I ain't gonna lie, these Captain Crunches taste a little different. No, I would say breakfast of champions. This is a breakfast of captains. Be a captain. Technically, the next few episodes of Stranger Things has came out. They have been losing me, and it ain't because the current situation with Will. Just in general, it's just been weird. Like they've grown up, I know, but the way things are being handled is like I don't know. I ain't liking it, especially with Elle's new face is pissing me off. I can't like I can't even do it right now, but what I was just watching was the new season of the spinoff of The Walking Dead with Negan and Maggie. So which I like it. Am I like a diehard fan? No. Do you see me with a pair of apparel? No. Would you see me at a convention? Maybe. because that's where I could do the adults work. You get what I'm saying? But you get what I'm trying to say. There's a difference from enjoying a television show and being a person that follows each cast member's life. And like when people look at that as a no, meaning you're hating. Like no, you just have your own life to worry about. And if I'm, and that's why I don't think I could be a celebrity. As in, like people wouldn't want to be a celebrity of me, or like make me a celebrity because I'll literally tell you like stop idolizing me. Like that's why I say I'm just a creation amongst creation. I'm not a YouTuber. I'm not Puerto Rican. I happen to do YouTube. I happen to be Puerto Rican or have Puerto Rican in me. But what I am are not those things. What I am is myself. And those things are the variables that are included in self. But what I am is that self. Like some people, maybe like, oh, and it's not in disrespect for people that do say it. Maybe like, oh, you tatted it up. And I'd be like, I got tattoos. I wouldn't say I'm tatted up, but I have tattoos. You got to remember what you put behind in front of the I'm. Remember that. About just some one hand drifting. Well, I get the controller right. Just hit a rock. I'm going down a hill. And that's not the reason why I brought this, but it does help in that. For one handed abilities. Where's the road? I'm not sure if you guys can hear that. That's tired of asphalt action. Swerve, 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 swerve. Pole, pole. Car, car. Thank you. I want to see if I can change something. Can I change the description? Because the description might be frightening folks. It says I can press manage. Whoa. Excuse me. I'm gonna My leg. What the hell? They got one of those survey. Yeah, they funny as hell. GTA really funny as hell. They got one of those survey cars up here. The hell you surveying? I just crashed through it on purpose, by mistake. So in a little bit, I'm gonna end this GTA drifting and get into one of the core doctrines, as promised or as mentioned. I don't tend to make promises when I don't know the Father's will. And you could be a person that does make promises, but that's not genuine when you don't know what's going to happen. So, yeah. Let's get into the core doctrine. But I'm not sure what I'm going to play on the screen for now. I might have a video or two playing, or I would watch. That would be cool. A watch along with Stranger Things, but uh, not currently. Not currently, because I ain't gonna be paying attention for a fact. Pharisees. There's a channel on YouTube I like watching. It's called Illustrated Theology, and from time to time, well, typically I do fact check what I look from it. I mean, what I see from it. But for example, they show videos as of in this is titled "Every Group of People from the Time of Yahshua Explained," and what it has on the thumbnail are Pharisees, Sadducees, Herodians, rabbis, the Zealots, the Essenes, the scribes, the Samaritans, and the politicians, or like the publicans. And yeah, I'm pretty sure it's thoroughly describing each group and their doctrine and how interestingly close one of them is to Yeshua's doctrine itself. Because his is not the Essenes. Like, you get what I'm saying? Like, yeah. Long story short, I might play that in the background as I'm reading the core doctrines. So, yeah, let's watch. What is the best way to mean healthy brain? Pharisees. When we hear this word, we usually think of hypocrisy.
But first of all, it is important to remember that the Pharisees were an extremely influential religious movement within first century Judaism. They were teachers of the law, respected by the common people. They emerged during the intertestamental period with an apparently noble goal to preserve the holiness of the law in a world dominated by pagan empires. Their great distinctive feature was the oral Torah, a body of traditions and interpretations that, according to them, explained how to obey the commandments in practical situations. Over time, this tradition became so extensive that Jesus said they bind heavy burdens and grievous to be borne. Theologically, they believed in the resurrection, in angels, and in divine sovereignty, points in which they strongly disagreed with the Sadducees. Another problem with the Pharisees is that they turned obedience into a spiritual performance. Jesus confronted them by calling them whitewashed tombs, beautiful on the outside, but inside full of dead men's bones and all uncleanness.
No,
In the
I
eyes of
am
the people,
like
they appeared righteous and devout, but inwardly they
at
were
the
full of
same time, when
hypocrisy and
reading
deceit.
things of old,
So,
you
not all
realize how they
Pharisees were
are
hypocrites.
addressed to
Nicodemus
things of
sought
the
Jesus
new,
sincerely and
which
asked honest
there's nothing
questions
new
about the
under
new
the
book.
sun.
Gamaliel, a respected
And if
teacher
you
of the
were
law,
to
was
prescribe
cautioned in the
our current
Sanhedrin
present
when
day
judging the apostles,
denominations
reminding them
to a
that if
group
their
back
work was from
then,
God, no
I
one
would
would be
choose
able
the
to stop them.
Pharisees to definitely be
And ironically,
Catholicism.
the greatest
How
Christian
like they're
missionary in
so
history,
outward on
Paul,
their
was a Pharisee.
etc. Like there's nothing wrong with
Besides
that,
this,
but at the end of the
before we
day,
move on, if you want to
they
study the
have
Bible in depth, without relying only on memory or
skeletons in their
scattered
closet.
notes, my
And
mind
that's
maps
not
of the
what
books of the
I'm not
Bible
speaking on every
organize
Catholic
everything in
individual.
one
I'm
place
speaking about
in a visual and
the
logical
one,
way.
the powers that be,
They help
the powers
understand the
that be.
context, the doctrines, and how everything connects within the biblical story. The link is in the description. Now let's move to the group that controlled the
First
temple
core
and religious
doctrine:
power, the Sadducees. They were
believer in all
practically the
things until
opposite of the
proven guilty,
Pharisees. While the
in which I
Pharisees
still
were popular
believe,
among the
but
people,
not in the
the
same way
Sadducees
a
were the
follower
religious
of it
intellectual elite
does.
of Israel.
Follower
They came
of
from
one
the most
thing,
influential
which is the
priestly
truth,
families and belonged to
slash,
the
or like,
priestly line of Zadok,
let me
the
just
high priest
show it.
appointed by Solomon. Because of this, they
Yeshua,
controlled the temple,
judger of
administered the
nothing until
sacrifices,
proven
and
guilty. So,
occupied the
like, let me
highest
break that
positions in
down, or
Israel.
allow the
In
Spirit to
short,
break that
they were the
down.
ruling class.
Um,
Most of the temple priests
I'm
belonged to the
actually not
Sadducees.
play
Doctrinally, they were
this
more
because
rationalistic.
it's a little
They
bit throwing me off. Um, believer in all things until proven guilty. So, I like to say a genuine fruit of the spirit, or like would be in the case that you're being introduced to a topic that you are just, you're not aware of it. It is only genuine to give the individual the benefit of the doubt until you do your homework. So that's why I say believer in something until proven guilty. So like I will hear an individual out, and if I do my homework and it says otherwise, then guilty. In which I still believe, but not in the same way a follower of it does. So in the case that they tell me like, oh, like say for example, different religions, I do believe in like say for example, Gnosticism and things of that nature, but I don't follow it the same way others do. Like I believe in it, but I follow it to be a distortion of the truth, as in opposite of what they see as the truth. So yeah, um, follower of one thing, which is the truth, and I put Yeshua as in ultimately he makes the claim that he is the way, the truth, the life. So with that being said, when it comes to the crux of it, I'm only a follower of Yeshua, the gist of it. Um, Judger of nothing until proven guilty, as also in the whole believer in nothing, mean believer in all things until proven guilty. It's like I would give the benefit of the doubt until I've done my homework, and in the case that the thing was guilty, then I'm a judger of something. But until it is proven guilty, I don't, you know. I'm saying I a lot, but I'm assuming that you guys understand what I mean. I would be pleased to not be judged by vocabulary and things of the nature. When like there's individuals that are like like profoundly vocabularized and could say things that hit the spot, yet they still follow things that don't hit that spot, which is the truth. So yeah, so that being the core doctrine, I'll also highlighted verses to correlate with that. And but before we do that, there's also like a little note I wrote under it. When it comes to being introduced to things, that includes books, artifacts, legends, and beliefs until proven false, in which we still believe in it, just not the same way as another, to then follow after it and then deny truth. So yeah, first verse being in First Thessalonians chapter 5 verse 21, which reads, "Prove all things, hold fast to that which is good." And I believe in previous live or one of the lives I did mention that verse, and I'm not sure if I'm gonna say each verse and then expound to why it correlates, or if I'm gonna just read the verse and let the spirit like work in you the common sense of how they correlate. So that's for time convenience. That's what I'll do. Ecclesiasticus chapter 6 verse 6: "Be in peace with many, nevertheless have but one counselor of 1,000." So like even though there's many ways, I guess, or many masters or who proclaim to be masters, even though there's many counselors that proclaim to be counselors but are not truly counselors, have but one out of those proclaimed counselors. But at the end of the day, be at peace with the others. 1 John 4:1, "Beloved, do not believe every spirit, but test the spirits to see whether they are from Elua, because many false prophets have gone out into the world." And context, I mean, not context, but it reading false prophets, we could also, like, I wouldn't see any wrong in interpreting it this way, but false pastors, false preachers, like, you could put any title after the false and it would correlate the same. Acts chapter 17, verses 11. "These were more noble than those in Thessalonica, for they received the word with all eagerness, examining the scripture daily to see if these things were so." And that just correlates to you should being compelled by the Spirit to want to further examine what you believe or what you don't believe, reasons why not to believe what you believe, and all the things of that nature. Proverbs 18, chapter 13. Proverbs chapter 13, 18, verses 13. "To answer before listening, that is folly and shame." And that goes with judging nothing before guilty and believing in all things until guilty. This verse emphasizes the importance of thoroughly examining information before accepting it or denying it. Next chapter, Romans chapter 12, verse 2: "Do not be conformed to this world, but be transformed by the renewal of your mind, that by testing you may discern what is the will of Elua, what is good and acceptable and perfect." Which goes to, like, I guess, me following something and me following or believing in other things, but following it different than others. Like, ultimately, those being things, me not being conformed to those things, as in those things being the beliefs of the world, so to say. James chapter 1, verse 12. Exalted is the man who remains steadfast under trial, for when he has stood the test, he will receive the crown of life which Allah has promised to those who love him. And that's a word of encouragement to the individuals who have the spirit compel them to search things of the nature. Is at the end of the day, remember, at the end of that road is what you were asking for. Like, if you're a truth seeker, what you were asking for is to understand things of the nature. And if you're in that journey of understanding, just remember at the end of that road is understanding. So, James chapter 1, verses 2 and 4. Another word of encouragement: count it all joy, my brothers, when you meet trials of various kinds. And in this interpretation, it would be like you believing in something and the individual pricking at what you believe. Don't basically count it all joy because you'll meet trials of various kinds. But just know, for you know, that the testing of your faith produces steadfastness. So don't look at that as in bad. You should be wanting adversariness or adversity, like adversity builds, as long as you pray and work towards that. The testing of your faith produces steadfastness, and let steadfastness have its full effect, that you may be perfect and complete, lacking in nothing. 2 Corinthians chapter 13, verse 5. Examine yourselves to see whether you are in the faith. Examine yourselves to see whether you are in the truth. Test yourselves, or do you not know this about yourselves, that Yeshua Christ is in you, unless indeed you fail to meet the test? The book of Sirach, chapter 21, verse 15. If a skillful man hear a wise word, he will commend it and add on to it. But as soon as one of no understanding hears it, it displeases him, and he casts it behind his back. So that goes for being in situations and conversations and debates where you're being introduced to new things. Yeah, it's plain and clear, plain and clear. The book in Proverbs, chapter 19, verse 27. My son, hear no more the instruction that causes to err from the words of knowledge. So, be genuine and an individual, to an individual that's introducing you to something. But when it gets to the point where you realize that it ain't it, step back. Step back. Proverbs chapter 20, verse 18. Establish the thoughts by counsel, and by counsel make war. I'm not sure exactly why that was highlighted. I do not have it in red, the exact parts that correlate to the doctrine, as in the other verses I do. Proverbs chapter 28, verse 26. He that trusts in his own heart is a fool, but he that walks in wisdom shall be delivered. And that correlates to not being for what you already know, not being too stuck up in it, and walk in wisdom, as in wisdom is all around, and that's the only way her doors, or you'll have the invite to her, is if you seek her. And like I said, she can be found in many things: books, artifacts, people, conversation, day-to-day conversation, all the things of the nature. And with that being said, yeah. Proverbs 29, verse 11. The fool pours out all his mind, but a wise man keeps it in till afterward. And that goes with the whole judging nothing until guilty, and believing in something until guilty. Believing in it, yet not following in it. Susanna, verse 48. Then Daniel stood in the midst of them and said, Are you such fools, O Yazraelites, that without examination or knowledge of the truth you have condemned a daughter of Yazrael? And that would be an example of an individual that didn't believe in all things until proven guilty and judged something before it being guilty. Hebrews chapter 12, verse 14. Pursue peace with all people and hokadeshness, without which no one will see the Adon. And that goes with the whole genuineness, and that correlate into if you're not genuine and the traits that I guess I'm expressing. I'm assuming you won't see the Adon, and I guess the Adon being the truth, I interpret it that way to be more of a comfortable approach. Because besides that, if it's meaning in the afterlife, then boy. Hebrews chapter 13, verse 9. Be not carried away with different and strange doctrines. So I did a little breakdown afterwards. So I said to show yourselves approved, 2 Timothy 2:15, and to prove all things, 1 Thessalonians 5:21 is what Scripture states. This verse speaks of being led astray, as in following, in which we believe in all things until proven guilty and only follow one, Yeshua. So, like, you could say at times, other than maybe me being hit with this verse by other individuals, I may have read this verse and the Spirit compelled me to actually understand it more, because it would be a contradiction to the doctrine I guess I'm saying that Scripture is teaching. So, with that being said, I basically correlated, or the Spirit further expounded how it wouldn't be a contradiction. It's specifically being saying, like it says it, be not carried away. So that's you following it. So it's like, you can't tell me to search something out and not, like, but it does say not to follow it. It's a difference than, like, proving all things. You go, I get what I'm saying. James chapter 1, verse 8. A man double in soul is unstable in all his ways. And that's basically correlating to, like, I guess the follow part. Not to be double in, yeah, beliefs, doctrines, what you're doing. Like, yeah. Yeah. James chapter 1, verse 19. Know ye, my brethren, most beloved, be each man swift to hear, but slow to speak, and slow to wrath, for the wrath of man works not the righteousness of Elohim. And that's self-explanatory. And this was my short previously, James chapter 3, verse 17. But the wisdom that comes from heaven is first of all pure, then peace-loving, considerate, submissive, full of mercy and good fruit, impartial and sincere. Which, check out that short. In the case you agree with it, like, comment, share. In the case you don't, I'm not sure at this point. 1 Peter chapter 3, verse 15. But in your hearts revere Mashiach as Adon. Always be prepared to give an answer to everyone who asks you to give the reason for the hope that you have, but do this with gentleness and respect, not with swords and shields. 1 John chapter 2, verse 21. I write to you not because you do not know the truth, but because you know it, and because no lie is of the truth. And that was highlighted and read, the no lies of the truth, because at the end of the day, you got to remember, if there's any contradiction, like all the variables at play, if there's any, it can't be the truth. Can't. I'm sorry. Third John chapter 1 verse 11. Beloved, follow not that which is evil, follow not, but that which is good. He that does good is of Eluah, but he that does evil has not seen Eluah. The Testament of Yahudah, chapter 20, verse 5. And the Spirit of truth testifies all things, and accuses all, and the sinner is burnt up by his own heart, and cannot raise his face to the judge. The Testament of Zebulon, chapter 9, verse 4. Be not you therefore divided into two heads, for everything which the Adon made has but one head, and two shoulders, 2 hands, 2 feet, but all the remaining members. The parts highlighted in that is to be not therefore divided into two heads. And yeah. Ecclesiastes chapter 3 verse 1, as I mentioned before, which I have: for everything there is a season and a time for every matter under heaven, which I explained in yesterday's or earlier's vlog. I was breaking down like the tattoo verses and what I have, and I basically explained about that verse, so check that out. A Epistle of Enoch, which is that's another one of the verses I have, so check out that live. Exodus chapter 23 verse 1. You shall not spread a false report. Do not put your hand with the wicked to be an unrighteous witness. And these verses like those are reminders and swords, like, you know what I'm saying? Because in the case that we are individuals that do such, us reading these things, you're definitely going to feel a needle or two. You get what I'm saying? So, Exodus 23 verse 2, you should not follow a multitude to do evil, neither agree in the controversy to decline after many, trying to be down, and overthrow the truth. Exodus chapter 23 verse 7, you shall keep thee far from a false matter. And mind you, these are all commandments, a part of the 613, I believe. Yeah, so you shall keep thee far from a false matter. You shall not slay the innocent and the righteous, for I will not justify a wicked man. And I forget exactly what persecution that was, but if I'm not mistaken, the Catholic Church against the Protestant, or what we call the Protestant Church now, they did an event where they massacred like a lot of individuals, righteous. What's the other one? And innocent, combined, being slayed by the wicked. Leviticus chapter 24, verse 22. You shall have but one law. It shall be as well for the strangers as for one born in the country, for I am the Adon, your Eluah. And that goes to like mention how like these laws were ultimately meant to be universal. So yeah. If anybody ever goes to say, oh, it was only meant for Israel, it was only meant for the 12 tribes, and sure. Numbers chapter 12, which is true, which the individuals who are strangers and living amongst would be grafted in. So yeah, you're technically correct. Technically. Numbers chapter 12, verses 6 to 8. And he said, "Hear now my words. If there be a prophet of the Adon among you, I will be known to him by a vision and will speak unto him by dream. My servant Moses is not so, who is faithful in all mine house. Unto him will I speak mouth to mouth and by vision, and not in dark words, but he shall see the similitude of the Adon. Wherefore then were you not afraid against me to speak against my servant, even against Moses?" I forget the context behind it. I believe this is the Adon speaking to the Israelites at the time, if they were Israelites at the time, I forget. No, I don't think they were Israelites at Moses' time yet. But with that being said, he's basically the Adon. In the case this is true, he's conveying to the people how like he will speak to like him plain and clear. So like some people they would like, like things are sometimes in puzzle, but not everything is. And I think the only reason I may or may not have highlighted that is because that's maybe 9 times 10 something that was used against me in my journey, and like I think it was like an excuse kind of thing, as in like he doesn't do this, he doesn't do that. And me reading the book of Numbers, the Spirit showed me how like there is examples where he doesn't speak in parables, and basically I was correlating how like I believe a lot of these things are like common sense. The reason why somebody might get offended by that is because it's not common to them, or like you get what I'm saying. Deuteronomy chapter 1 verse 17. You are not to show partiality in judgment. You shall hear the small and the great alike. You are not to be afraid of any person, for the judgment is Elua's. The case that is too difficult for you, you shall bring to me, and I will hear it. And that's Moses speaking to the congregation, and basically showing how you shouldn't show partiality in judgment. Deuteronomy chapter 13, verse 1 to 4, which is a doozer. We'll speak on that one in a minute. Um, Something that was today's verse of the day, Deuteronomy chapter 25, verse 13 to 16. You shall not have in your bag differing weights, the large and the small. You shall not have in your house different measures, a large and a small. You shall have a correct and honest weight. You shall have a correct and honest measure, so that your days may be prolonged in the land which the Adon Elua is giving you. For everyone who does these things, everyone who acts unjustly, is an abomination to the Adon your Elua. And I would interpret that to mean like good and evil. Like don't have a thing of both. Basically have one over the other. Because it says like don't have differing weights. So if it's between good and evil, yeah, basically have the scale on one side not balanced, or on the other side. Deuteronomy chapter 29, verse 4. Yet to this day, the Adon has not. And yeah, this is. I'm gonna need the context before I express that one. Deuteronomy chapter 30, verse 11 to 15. For this commandment which I am commanding you today is not too difficult for you, nor is it far away. It is not in heaven that you could say, who will go up to heaven for us and get it for us and proclaim it to us so that we may follow it. Nor is it beyond the sea that you could say, who will cross the sea for us and get it for us and proclaim it to us so that we may follow it. On the contrary, the word, the truth, is very near to you, in your mouth and in your heart, that you may follow it. And interestingly enough, something that the Spirit just brought me alert to is the correlation between the heavens and the sea. And interestingly enough, while I was watching the Titanic yesterday and this morning, another connection between the above and below is the fact that blimps and submarines are like the same shape and all the things of that nature. And even when like you see the camera going through the waters and like you got particles passing by the camera lens and it appears to be like you're going through space and stars and yeah, conspiracy. So yeah, I'm gonna leave that one. Wisdom of Solomon, chapter 1, verse 6. For wisdom is a kindly spirit, but it will not free blasphemers from the guilt of their words. So, like, in the case somebody is actually true to what they're claiming, and they have a situation where they fall apart or fall back or fall, is basically saying how, like, I guess it won't free you from that guilt or etc. etc. And it might not be for individual. I think it's just in general. I don't think it's for specifically individuals who have wisdom. Because Olua is witness of their inmost feelings and a true observer of their hearts and a hearer of their tongues. Wisdom of Solomon, chapter 2, verse 22. And they do not understand the mysteries of Olua, neither hope for the reward of righteousness, nor can discern the honor of the souls that are faultless. Wisdom of Solomon, chapter 3, verse 11. For those who despise wisdom and instruction are miserable. Their hope is vain, their labors are unprofitable, and their works are useless. Wisdom of Solomon, chapter 3, verse 9. Those who trust in him will understand truth, and the faithful will abide with him in love, because grace and mercy are upon his Hokadesh ones, and he watches over his elect. Wisdom of Solomon, chapter 6, verse 8. But a sore trial shall come upon the mighty. And that's just a reminder to like another word of encouragement. Wisdom of Solomon, chapter 6, verse 13. She hastens to make herself known to those who desire her. Speaking about wisdom. Wisdom of Solomon, may Allah grant me to speak with judgment and to have thoughts worthy of what I have received. For he is the guide even of wisdom and the corrector of the wise. So be it. And in that, I interpret when it says the Alua is speaking of the Father, And when it says how he is the God of wisdom and the corrector of the wise, that's where I have the like Heavenly Father, Heavenly Mother thing. Where at the end of the day, even though like 'cause there's individuals who are aware of a Heavenly Mother, but they tend to like forget that we're not fatherless, if that makes sense. So, and this is basically saying how, like, at the end of the day, how all things you got to go through the Father, even with his wife. That being said, because a lot of the deities or spirits and energies that these individuals are attaching to are feminine, heavenly mother, or fallen angels and distortions and things of that nature. That's another conversation. Wisdom of Sirach, chapter 1, verse 28. A patient person will suffer for a time, then shall they have the reward of joy. And when the time is right, I will remember our Heavenly Father willing that verse and speak about all the examples in my journey of me seeing the reward of joy after being patient and not giving an answer to something until I searched it out. Wisdom of Sirach, chapter 129. He will hide his words for a time, and many men lips shall speak of his wisdom. Wisdom of Sirach, chapter 134. Be not a hypocrite, that men should speak of you, but take heed to what you speak. It's about like maybe 70 more verses that go to this. Hold on, I'm going to go back up to where I just read. Excuse me. I ain't gonna lie, I was gonna hold it, but I'm like, if I'm being honest, so this is where be not a hypocrite, right here, and I'm basically finna skip the rest of these verses until I get to the next core doctrine. I'm at least trying to get 2 doctrines in this night or this live stream, so yeah, I don't see I'm capping of like how many verses correlate to that general life like belief, and this is where another doctrine is at, but we're gonna go skip that one. Should I hit him with it? Should we hit him with it? Before I do that, I'm gonna do something. Excuse me. I would like some water though. Pretty sure I grabbed the bottle. Oh, my leg. Uh, Second core doctrine that I'm reading believer that nothing outside of the body can defile the body, but it's from within. You can only be defiled by what is a master to you, which concludes the only thing that can defile the body is your body, yourself. Versus, well, where's the breakdown? It's at the end. I'm going to read the breakdown and then we're going to go to the verses. So, as we are all aware, anything in a mass intake or shouldn't be intaked is harmful to the body. Where Yeshua speaks on having a master besides him, what your master is determines your health and well being. If your master is junk food, that junk food will defile you physically with it and emotionally without it. If your master is herbs, then that herb will defile you. Herb, for example, marijuana. I've sure either experienced or witnessed a poor soul who knows not what they say, yet proceeds to speak of marijuana as their go-to for all things. For example, individuals who say, I can't eat without smoking, I can't take a crap without smoking, I can't sleep without smoking. That is what I'm saying. If your master is Yeshua, then Yeshua won't defile you. Defiling you meaning let you down and do you dirty. Conclusions from the Spirit, including verses and uncommon sense, would be that you defile yourself based on small things we may not realize, 9 times out of 10, by the words we speak. So, verses to correlate with the core doctrine. Matthew 15:17, 15:11, of course. It is not Yeshua's own words. It's Yeshua's own words, which reads, It is not what goes into a man's mouth that defiles him, but what comes out of his mouth. Mark 7:15, Mayim. Those are my two sideburn tattoos. If I'm not mistaken, this side is Matthew 15:11, and this side is Mark 7:15. There is nothing outside a person can defile them by going into them, but the things which come out of them, those are they that defile the man. So that's when I was saying about the whole words. Matthew chapter 6, verse 24. No one can serve two masters, for either he will hate the one and love the other, or he will be devoted to the one and despise the other. As I was mentioning earlier, which I have also tatted, Romans chapter 14:14. I now am convinced by the Adon Yeshua that there is nothing unclean of itself, but to him who considers anything to be unclean, to him it is unclean. 1 John chapter 2, verse 16. For everything in the world, the lust of the flesh, the lust of the eyes, and the pride of life comes not from the Father, but from the world. 1 Corinthians chapter 6, verse 9 to 10. Or do you not know that wrongdoers will not inherit the kingdom of Eloah? Do not be deceived. Neither the sexually immoral, nor idolaters, nor adulterers, nor men who have sex with men, nor thieves, nor the greedy, nor drunkards, nor slanderers, nor swindlers will inherit the kingdom of Eloah. And I highlighted the traits, reason being, when you look at all the traits, those are all examples of eternal issues, not external issues. Like it don't say, like the way to say it points out the individual, not what the individual is idolatrizing. Like it's not speaking about sex, it's speaking about sexually immoral. It's not speaking about idolatry, but it's not speaking about the idol itself. It's speaking about the idolater. Also, adulterer, Norman who has sex with men, and self-explanatory. And I pray most are not offended by it. I will further discuss it at a different time. Nor thieves, not the items that they stole or not the reason why they stole, but themselves. So yeah. So First Corinthians chapter 6 verse 12. I have the right to do anything you say, but not everything is beneficial. I have the right to do anything, but I will not be mastered by anything. Proverbs 20 verse 1. Wine is a mocker, strong drink a brawler, and whoever is led astray by it is not wise. So yeah, the items were described as things, but the crux of it is whoever is led astray by it. So yeah, because we also have verses that correlate to the goodness of wine and things of that nature. Mark chapter 7 verse 18, which in a case some hold the agreement. I think they do because how self-explanatory this verse is, but they hold the agreement that it's not originally in like the original, or like it wasn't his words. He didn't say these things. So, but we're gonna read it anyways. It says, "Are you so dull?" He asked. "Don't you see that nothing that enters a person from the outside can defile them? For it doesn't go into their heart, but into their stomach, and then out of the body." In saying this, Yeshua declares all food clean. He went on, what comes out of a person is what defiles them, for it is from within, out of a person's heart, that evil thoughts come: sexual immorality, theft, murder, adultery, greed, malice, deceit, lewdness, envy, slander, arrogance, and folly. All these evils come from inside and defile a person. So, if I'm not mistaken, in the video titled Mark, I read this verse and I basically allow the Spirit to express how when Yeshua says this, it is true. Like, what happens with a thing is it goes into you and it goes out of you. Where the wrong happens is where you allow it to go into your heart and spiritually, mentally, physically defile you. But as he said, nothing outside of the body is supposed to defile anything inside, but you yourself allow it to do so. Proverbs chapter 21, verse 23. Whoever keeps his mouth and his tongue keeps himself out of trouble. 1 Peter 3:10. For whoever desires to love life and see good days, let him keep his tongue from evil and his lips from speaking deceit. James chapter 3 verse 10. From the same mouth comes exaltation and cursing. My brother, these things ought not to be so. Proverbs chapter 13 verses 2 and 3. A man shall eat good things by the fruit of his mouth. My brothers, but the soul of the trespasser shall suffer violence. Whoever guards his mouth preserves his life. They who open their lips comes to ruin. And apologies of me not reading how I typically read due to the fact like it's nothing wrong, so to say, with the translation. But I believe certain individuals on the opposite spectrum of gender, in the cases interpreted that way by their pastors, or like they already getting that type of vibe from their pastors. They feel as if like it's very like only on the masculine he's speaking about. So let me reread it. A person shall eat good things by the fruit of their mouth, but the soul of the trespasser shall suffer violence. Whoever guards their mouth preserves their life. They who opens wide their lips comes to ruin. Proverbs 18:21. Death and life are in the power of the tongue, and those who love it will eat its fruits. Genesis 9:3. Every moving thing that lives shall be food for you, and as I gave you to get green plants, I give you everything. Titus 1:15, which I have on my left forearm. To the pure all things are pure, but to the defiled and unbelieving nothing is pure, but both their minds and their consciousness are defiled. Matthew 5:28. But I say to you, everyone who looks at a woman with lustful intent has already committed adultery with her in his heart. And that goes to the whole thing like, yeah, we could blame quote unquote Jezebels and harlots for doing what they do, but ultimately it's on our end of allowing that to defile us. Wisdom of Solomon, chapter 1, verse 12. Seek not death in the air of your life. Destroy not yourselves through the works of your own hands. Sirach 5:14. Honor and shame is in the talk, and the tongue of a person causes them to fail. So yeah, that's the gist of it for now. We are about to get into some UFC. Back to the Jet fan. Not cool. If y'all wondering, fighting with Khabib versus Chandler. I keep allowing him to land that overhand.
Come on. It's his fourth overhand. He just overhanded me to the floor. Pause. Restart. So I can't wait until the pool like calms down and registers that like we're playing the game, bro. Calm down. He landed the overhand again. I'm not liking this. I'm about to start giving him the taste of his own medicine. One more time, one more time. I didn't start off right. Got him with the overhand. Got him with the overhand. Mm. Mm. Step back. Step back, huh? Why are you trying not to do that? I'm trying not to do that. Okay. Okay. Head kick. Head kick. This guy's a fighter. I overhanded him. Head kick. Replay on my head kick. You don't want to dad me up. Step back. Head kick. How you ain't got no overhand on the? Oh my goodness. Head kick. Ooh, ooh. His face turned right. He went for an overhand, and his face turned right into like my foot. Like, no. Mm. Mm. Kicked him right in the nose. Oh, featherweight. Ortega versus Hooker.
Well, these guys have been on each other's radars for quite some time.
Sure, I don't even know this guy. Now, why do you always face me against somebody tall?
The way that they need to. Real fighting. And also, every opponent he has control. These guys seem to be the mirror image of each other. If they get caught with that punch, if you get it caught up such a ball, try to go up to hit that hitter. Right early round, going to a big advantage DC to see if you can avoid that kind of hit. Yes, you have to maintain distance. He's a taller guy. So every time the opponent fights to get where he's going to have to take something to delay his time.
That is three-piece. Head kick. Elbow. Wait, he blocked that. Ooh. Sweet chin music. Okay, that's over here. Mm. Oh, he fighting back. That boy fighting back. If they were throwing it in the fight, it would have ended it. Mm. Shanti. If you happen to get a chance, I would appreciate it if you guys could go to a little brother in existence of mine's YouTube channel. When I introduced him to mine's, he took the task out to attempt to get me to 100 subscribers because I told him my goal was to get to 100 subscribers or whatever, and he basically felt it upon himself. So don't knock me out. Don't knock me out. He felt it upon himself to give me a few followers, and a few subscribers. If I'm not mistaken, you got at least like six, 5 or 6. And if I can, go check out his channel. And if you guys enjoy his content or just feel motivated by what he's doing, drop a subscribe on his channel as well. So, we still going, man. Head kick. Oh. Oh my god, this is a crazy fight. This is a crazy fight. Ooh, head kick. Uppercut. Come on. He's done for it, man. Knock him out already. Head kick. Come on. Head kick. Come on. Get knocked out already. Ooh, hook. Elbow. Come on. This ain't fair. This ain't fair. I ain't playing fair. Oh. That was a horrible swing of the kick. Come on. Should we take it to the next round? There's only 20 seconds left. Head kick. If I can knock him out now, I'm knocking him out now. Head kick. Ooh. 3 seconds left. I don't know what the special move that Sheamus does when he does that kick where he goes like the scissor. Oh yeah, it's like a scissor kick or something. It's like chain fighters. And what you guys are currently seeing
other than me speaking about it previously in one of the core doctrines. I do hope you guys are checking out the previous lives where I also expound on topics of the nature of what you're seeing of that nature. Uh,
Coming up next, it's a lightweight joke between
They always give me a
Charles
Liberia.
Oliveira and Alexander Volkanovski.
Be back shortly. Oh, sorry for the jet fan coming. I do want to stand up for a little bit. I don't know what type of angle I should have you guys at. Oh, I'm trying. I'm gonna have you guys down there for a second. I know like anybody's currently watching, so everybody should be. Mm. Oh my goodness, bro. I see how you funny. I see how you funny. We both was doing each other in. Pause. But on the other deal, he just plumbled me with punches. Sorry for the jet noise. Mm. He tried to spin him back fist. I just scissor kicked him. Ooh, that kick that landed.
The jet fan is almost gone. Like the takeoff, at least. Man, it's like really it's a nice fight. Like we just, you know, bare knuckles face to face, and we step back when it's getting a little too crazy. You know what I'm saying? Ooh, I just need him in his face. Need him in his face again. Spinning elbow. Yes, you are. Yes, you are. Ooh, brother. Connect with your face, boy. Spinning elbow. Flying the. Oh, come on. That would have connected. He survived the round. He survived. I'm getting my get back. Spinning elbow. Replay. Okay. Spinning elbow. Better dap me up. Spinning up. Oh, he go for an overhand. Ah, I kicked him. Now I'm about to pummel you with punches. Because that's what you wanted to do to me. Spinning elbow. Flying knee. Flying knee. Spinning knee. Flying knee. Yeah, I think I'm done playing UFC though. Still got time. Still got time. Oh yeah, I forgot I was supposed to go over those things. I'm looking tired. Look, you went and take a nap. If I'm being generally honest, I did take a nap earlier, but
We're gonna attempt to plug it out. So to say, so to say. I wonder how it would be. Maybe, damn. That is low key in the way. Is it generally? I mean, his stuff is in the way. I mean, I could push that like right here. That would do. Yeah, that would do. Here, we grab the remote. Is there a game I plan on playing next? Not entirely sure. Oh man, not a bit. You might watch one of the episodes of Stranger Things, or continue watching episodes of the Walking Dead show. I was finding interest in it, so it's probably what I'll continue watching for the time being.
So, this is how you've been treated. You shouldn't be left like this. This has anything to do with me. Wait, why did you marry organs? Well, I wrote you. Do something different. Did you make it right? I like it better. I'm going to arrange to get you a perfect bed. Like it. Anything else? The coat. Nothing more. Paper. Give me something to show you. sure. Okay. Yeah.
The car is taking overseas. They're going to be watching us right now. We gotta find a safe spot so we can take a break.
Just looking for a landmark so we can get over to.
In case.
You know, zoo maybe? There's a park looking like this when I was a kid, I'll tell you that much. I didn't know I was Let's keep looking. So the bedroom up with you. Hi. Hi there. Hi there. Here the full perimeter is established. Then search the car. Yes, ma'am. Here it is. You doubt the new Babylonians are still alive, but they are. You only know why with the light bulb. You draw the line of children. You always have. I promise, if you encounter the child before, you won't have to be wrong before. Don't worry, I'll do it for you. You should put us on the west side of your 7th Street. You should be safe here, for now. One of the lakes is close. Just over that bridge. It's got a boathouse. Closest place I can think of is waterfront.
We're running out of food. We need to start figuring out how to get home.
We cross the river again. We need to lay low. Buy ourselves some time.
And then we keep going for the nothing. You shake that way? We obviously can't do this alone, but we can do what we did alone. I thought that we were just exploring. We speak the opposition, we peel off some numbers, we make new alliances. We just got 50 innocent people killed. And I don't want 50 more to have to die. We need to finish this now. We have to get the thing ourselves. And then it's done. If you will concur.
I don't like. Oh, makes sense. They call themselves the New Babylon.
Get the nothing. You can get the families of soldiers like that.
Families, these kids we have to go home. Forced to join up. You think they care about make them leave?
I'm not fighting. You take the place of 20 to get people.
I'm pretty sure that I'm the one that did the fight again. It's a good thing I do because they would all be dead by now too.
But most certainly be dead if you do something. That was the deal. I'm on your side again. Look, there's a lot of things you can lie about. And now I want you to do this together. Oh,
No, I definitely don't like Dude either. And not him personally, but the character that he portrays and how I dislike it.
The boathouse will be just on the other side.
Stay close.
Something I like to see if in the description cannot ask, whatever you call it, Gemini. So
Stay calm. Don't move. Hey, wait!
she ran for it, but telling everybody else to stay still. New Babylon.
Martha! Dang! Martha!
You not hear your mama calling you? Who the hell is that? Awkward.
Mom?
And now you calling for mama. Well, it does thoroughly. I feel like it is missing some parts, but I think the rest of it is where I was just whatever you call it.
Must be a lot. I mean, these people are here back in Gaul. With a lot of responsibilities. Power. But what I don't get is why they don't treat you like the red-headed stepchild. Rama and I are partners. He appreciates me. Trust me. Trust comes from being honest. Saying he knows a lie. We don't know who. back on the my friend was saying she'll be one of the little bit. Let's say the biggest. And of course, the one has no scene in the storm. It's a make crashing into the little storm. I was alone. I only went alone until one day I was searching for an old vehicle. When I woke, I was so under a blanket. I never forget this. On the table next to me, there was a plate of cookies. Little cookies. Yes, she is good. But it is all in the service of bringing down power and shower. One thing I know she sees is you perhaps gone a bit soft. I told her the old nigger is doing that. You just need to get your hands a little bloody. Oh, baby. But nobody's gonna get their hands dirty sitting around eating fat dad. But I know you have bras in your head. Let me go in. If the soldiers are dead, I'll find them. If they're not, I'll finish them. Well, I'd like you to accompany me and be a doctor. Wake up.
Right now, I'm doing some editing on the previous lives since they're staying, and for like you guys to view them. Which is like I just got my third view, which is nice. I don't know if that's me on the cell phone.
Everybody move, come on. Wait, I have to find yourself. Getting yourself killed is not going to help.
Why can't I ask this one?
Sit down. You've been making a lot of noise, getting a lot of attention. We don't like attention. And now here you are, without playing me. You realize you're being hunted? You know you're in here. We've got the park surrounded. I don't normally take to strangers, but since you're here, I'd rather you stay. Nice and quiet for a stretch. It's time to go, you go. And you never come back. Like we never existed, because we don't.
They're innocent.
They're liars.
My friend is still out there. It's not safe for you. You have people searching for the boy.
You've been watching this.
Like I said, if it annoys you, I can handle hunters and witches, okay? For the worst things out there. You've lived here a long time. The best thing to do for your son is let us handle it. Quietly.
We appreciate that. Everything we need you there, helping your child. You come from the name, a federation of communities, everyone working together. Join us to be a complicated process, but in this case, we're building off what we have in good faith. We have modern tools, medicine, energy.
There's nothing you can offer that nature doesn't already provide.
You're surrounded by the dead. You can clear out the light and see.
The dead aren't our problem. And surrounding us, they protect us. That's why we're still here. We don't fear them. They're us. They're our neighbors, our friends, our sisters, our parents, our children. And one day done. And you.
I like that view. She's a cool cat. Cool cat.
You're still wrong. She said they're looking for him. Show me some.
You don't need that. We often do that kind of bullshit when I'm gone.
It's not bullshit. You can help on both sides of the boat.
We don't listen for every benefit as yours. We don't need anything from you. You want anything from me? Let them do.
Herschel is going on an adventure of his own.
Please. Why did you choose to draw that?
I saw from the car and just stay with me.
Others never. It's good. Restored it to how it used to be.
I don't even know what that would look like.
Because you never saw it.
I didn't know.
Yeah.
I don't care how it is. I like it like this.
It's pretty. We. One of my favorite artists was the sculptor. We used to meet tree things. He was born in 1907. Too young to fight in Great War, but young enough to never know how come before it. All he knew of the world was death, loss, rage, pain, and he expressed expressed all of that anxiety. I heard that man leaving due to the car. I'm sorry. We don't have to talk about it. There's nothing to talk about. I was leaving the office. And also I was obsessed with him. Something I love.
Near,
Alien for me once.
say hi.
And
If you're feeling
and sadness and anger
the
and
hearts
that I
too.
had to pull myself through without anyone's help. I've been waiting for a very long time. Surely none of these big things ever happened. So big that maybe she hasn't left room for anyone else's feelings. Your feelings. And the one person who is supposed to be there for you isn't really there. So you have to manage it. Thank you, son.
Where's my brush? Oh man. See my Negan gone find whatever's son.
Funny you showed up out of nowhere. Didn't know how comfortable and shit. What a man on the world, huh? What I keep thinking though is, if you were wanted by the Baylanders, it means you live with them. And that makes you the main one. Why did the main one across the room? I don't know. Why? They did. You first.
Oh yeah, just a heads up. I actually haven't done the derma rolls treatment as of like 3 days now because Monday I ended up whatever you call it using some exfoliation stuff. So yeah, but with that being said, I am seeing a bit of progress. I mean, you could say like before, my lower lip could like grab the top, like the sides of my mustache. Now it's getting good right here. I felt like grab some hairs.
She only has to sense it. Clearly all she ever thinks of. Whereas the rest of us, we have to think about it better.
Oh my god, she needs to die.
And everyone needs emotion.
I'm sorry.
and the soldiers,
I dislike.
the base of operations, a really good for nothing. But that's me. We can't see what's present, but we can bring forward back to who it was. So we gotta help them see it. We just have to wait for the right moments.
Stop her from talking. He didn't. I was like, damn. And I guess that's a part of the show.
Nothing rich. You saved me, right? Can you understand that song? Do you live here in the park? It's okay. You don't touch it. I'm looking for my friends. Come on. The people over here? Is there something you do over there? You like it gone?
Yeah.
Can you see?
I would try.
Can I show you?
You're not a zombie? Wait, what? Damn. Nigga. It's a monster out there.
Marshall! Oh my god. What happened? Was she shot? I thought I heard a gunshot. Let's go. Come on. There you go. Get out there. I'm gonna try.
Hmm. I know it is another day. I do know that for a fact. Is it the new year? I'm not sure, but I know it's currently 12 a.m. So that completes technically the live of like me going into the new day, not the new year. And yeah, I think I might take it down. Ooh, that being said, sayonara.
Okay?
Since
I'm glad you're
all around yonder.
okay.
Peace and shalomies, homies and homettes.